Now, Pope Francis is going where no pontiff has gone before him this Sunday, as he's holding a mass in one of Mexico City's most dangerous suburbs. With what is expected to be a message of hope and solidarity for residents, Francis will be speaking in an outdoor field with an estimated capacity of 400,000 people, a far cry from yesterday's pomp and ceremony at the presidential palace. And that speech has now begun. To tell us more about this, let's cross to our guest, Latin American history professor Benjamin Smith. Hello, thank you very much for being with us on France 24. The Pope has already made a number of speeches since arriving in the country. Is he fulfilling the expectations of Mexican followers, do you think?
I think to a certain extent, he's focused really on 3 or 4 issues. One is the problems of poverty. Mexico has about 50% of its population live in poverty. The other one is obviously the drug violence, which has seen about 160,000 dead over the last decade. The other is indigenous groups. And finally is the problem of Protestantism. I mean, Mexico is the second most populous Catholic state in the world, but 1,000 people are converting to Protestantism, or some version of it, every day.
And how much influence might the Pope actually have in Mexico?
Well, I think this is rather problematic. The ecclesiastical hierarchy, to a certain extent, think that their hands are bound. They have to deal with a government that's corrupt, and they have to deal with very powerful people in the drug trafficking industry. And if they don't deal with them, they risk not only losing a huge amount of finance from them, but also support and possibly even death. Mexico was the most dangerous country in the world last year to be a Catholic priest outside the Middle East.
So does that mean that the pontiff might not hit too hard on the issue of corruption?
I would doubt it very much, partly because this government that President Peña Nieto runs, although it's lost virtually all of its kind of patina of revolutionary activity, it still has a fair amount of supporters who are very anti-clerical, who really distrust the Catholic Church. And I suspect that the pontiff would be reluctant to bait these groups too much by being seen to interfere in what is a secular political matter.
So does that mean that President Peña Nieto isn't hoping to draw on this visit to shore up rather lacklustre popularity ratings then?
I suspect he hopes this, but frankly, over the last 2 years or so, his attempts to gain popularity have been abject failures, and I suspect that this one will be the same. People seem to adore the current Pope. 400,000 is a quite extraordinary number in Ecatepec at the moment, but I don't think this will connect to Peña Nieto's popularity, which is on the slide.
Benjamin Smith, thank you very much for having spoken to us. Thank you.